It was the poet Dylan Thomas who, in a note on a collection of his poems, who wrote that they were written for the love of man and in praise of God. It's a lovely phrase that I think also sums up what should be our motivation for Christian giving, which is what I want to think about in this last of these short videos. Paul, when he writes to the Corinthian church in 1 Corinthians 16, says this: "Now concerning the collection for the saints, you should follow the directions I gave to the churches of Galatia. On the first day of every week, each of you is to put aside and save whatever extra you earn, so that collections need not be taken when I come." Why? Because that giving was an expression of their praise of God, an expression of their thankfulness for who God is, for all that God had done for them. And it was how they expressed their love of man, so that the church had the resources that it needed and needs to make known what it knows to be true of God with others as well. Is what we call the parish share is there to make possible. And yet the challenge for us as a diocese, as you know, is that in recent years our parish share has been declining. And this year, with the impact of COVID-19 on individual churches' finances, we know that it's going to be a particularly difficult year for us. The basic cost of a stipendiary clergy person, when you add in stipend and pension and national insurance and housing, is around £55,000 a year. And that's before you add any costs involved with whatever support we try to provide centrally to better equip our clergy. And the reality is that if we want full-time, well-trained, properly resourced clergy across the whole of the diocese, this is money we have to find for ourselves. And so over the autumn, we want to begin a series of what we hope will be honest conversations about how we might be able to achieve just that. Moving away from a formula approach to what a church might be able to provide towards parish share, to a more honest conversation about what a church is able to provide, and therefore actually what the diocese is able to provide in response. It's a lovely phrase. For the love of man and in praise of God. That was the motivation for Dylan Thomas writing his poems. And my prayer is that that might be our motivation as we think about our giving to the work of God in this diocese too.